I can do hard things. I will march to St. Joe's Hospital with my head held high. I can do hard things.
Why I Stay people. Hello and welcome back to this podcast. Today we have an amazing Stay Power episode. Tara Bodrero has some important things to say and to share with us today. And I was telling her before as we sat down, my desk broke and I'm on the floor and I just sat down on the ground in my little makeshift area. And I just feel like this is such a sacred experience and opportunity. So Tara, thank you for being here with us today.
I am absolutely thrilled to be here.
We got to get some light stuff in here. We were praying before and we were feeling it and I just want to laugh for a minute. So let's do the rapid fire get to know you questions and then we'll get into the serious topic, the serious but amazing topic of your faith and your cancer journey. So, are you ready for these rapid fire get to know you questions?
Hit me, baby.
All right. Tara, how old are you?
34.
Do you have any nicknames?
Yes.
Do you want to share them?
um, my uncle calls me Tots. Um, that's about it.
All right. Tots is good.
So maybe I don't have any nicknames. You could just take that out.
You've got tots. I love it. Where do you live?
I live in Mesa, Arizona.
What's your favorite food?
Keto ice cream.
Keto ice cream.
Like real keto ice cream, not Instagram keto ice cream. Like homemade
Ooh.
mama keto ice cream, dairy free, everything free. I'm on the craziest diet in the world, but I am fighting for my life. It like actually kind of tastes like ice cream. When people try my treats, my family tried my birthday cake. They were like, how do you eat that stuff?
And you're like, guys, don't make it worse. Okay. This is yummy.
I haven't had carbs or sugar for over a year.
Oh
This is
my goodness.
amazing. There
Oh
was
my
no carbs or
goodness.
sugar. Anyway,
Oh man. Yeah, man, that was an interesting favorite food question. I think that's probably the most interesting answer I'm ever gonna get on this show. I'm pretty
you're
sure.
going to get a lot of interesting with me.
Yeah, I love it. Can't wait. What's your current hobby?
Fighting cancer. Oh, actually, scratch that. My favorite thing to do right now, besides spend time with my family, is go to therapy. I am in therapy 7 hours a day. I
Mm.
wake up every morning, see my cute scrubs I'm already in. It's
Hmm.
really hard to get me dressed. So I sleep in these scrubs, go to hyperbarics in my scrubs, and hang out with them until my mom can change me into my therapy clothes. 4 hours
Oh,
hyperbarics, 3 hours of physical and occupational therapy every day. I
wow.
love it. I love it.
Wow. That's an awesome opinion to have on that. What is your most favorite calling you've ever held?
Young women's, young women's, young women's, young women's.
Totally. What is a controversial opinion that you hold? Like everybody loves Crocs, but you hate them.
That's like, I don't know. We were the OG Croc people, though. We liked them a long time ago when they were a ton on sale at Goodwill because nobody else wanted them. I bought them all, and my boys loved them. They were easy on and off, waterproof, everything.
Yep.
So yeah, we're the original Crockers around here.
Okay, that's a controversial thing. I love it. Um, Tara, what is your biggest dream?
To be an 88-year-old grandma with grandkids. Wait, hold on. Just to be an 88-year-old grandma. That implies grandkids.
I didn't even realize that either. Awesome. Good catch. Good catch. Um, what is something about you that is the same now as it was when you were in high school?
I'm in love with Josh.
You guys are like the ultimate high school sweethearts. Someone's got to make a movie about you two.
I was just telling Josh as we drove home that our love can get through anything.
And
That
it
we've
has.
been tested in every way, almost every way, in enough ways. Don't test us anymore. We have been tried, we have been tested, and
Yeah,
we love each other in a more deep way than I ever thought possible.
mm, it's beautiful. All right, here's a bonus question. Okay, if you only had to watch one TV show for the rest of your 88 years of life, what TV show would you choose?
Just one.
Yeah, it's just one.
Gilmore Girls.
Ah, great. Good one. All right. And that ends our rapid fire questions. So now that we've got all of that out of the way, we're ready. We are so ready to hear your story, Tara. So, just to give the audience a little bit of background, you were telling me before, you've got this episode is scheduled to come out on Tuesday, January, what's that date?
Yes, the 23rd. That's my surgery day.
Yeah, it's our surgery day. So this episode is coming out. You're going to be in pre-op when this episode airs at like 6 a.m. Arizona time. You were telling me that you've got cancer, you got brain cancer, and you have another surgery on Tuesday, and it's in the location of your like speech and memory. Is that correct?
It, well, that's just under the realm of could, right?
Hmm.
So where he's going, it could.
Got it.
I am extremely hopeful that I wake up with my speech and memory. My surgeon is very aware of how aggressive we want to be while also protecting those two things. My
Mm-hmm.
surgeon is a pro at me. This will be his 14th brain surgery on this beautiful bald head of mine.
Wow. 14 brain surgeries. Are you kidding me? Wow.
So this is 15 in total, 15 total brain surgeries.
Okay, so let's start back at the beginning. I kind of want to shape this episode in telling us about like your cancer and your faith when you first found out about cancer all those years ago in your brain, and then your cancer and your faith now, and like what's the similarities, what are the differences. So let's travel back in time. It's 2000 what, 10?
Yes.
Okay, it's 2010 and you find out that you have brain cancer. Tell us about that.
2010, May 14th, 2010, I met my glioblastoma. I met one of, to that point, the biggest trial of my life. At that time, I turned to the Lord. It was easy for me to turn to the light because that's all I had known. I had a strong testimony. In 2010, when it all came down, I was like a firm tree. I knew I was a daughter of God. I knew there was a divine plan, or at least I thought I knew. I have become extremely fixated on verbs since May 16th of last year. But in 2010, I could stand at the pulpit and say, I know this church is true.
And so you had your brain surgery and chemotherapy after that?
Yeah, I had surgery, chemotherapy, radiation, and then I got MRSA in my brain. And that led to 6 more surgeries that year and 6 months of IV antibiotics. That was worse than brain surgery. But all of my oncologists are speculating that that infection may have sparked my immune system to not only attack the infection, but my tumor.
Hmm.
So,
Wow.
talk about a blessing in disguise.
Yeah,
Those
100%.
6 hours of ink every day through my port was worth it.
And then after that, you were cancer free? How did that happen?
They don't use remission. With glioblastomas, there's no remission. This thing is terminal. It's going to take your life. So they told me that I would never have children, or not never. They told me I should do fertility treatments. They told me I should do IVF and make embryos because the chemo is going to kill my eggs. And that alone in 2010 was an amazing experience, praying about whether or not we should make embryos. It was the first time I got the wrong answer. What I mean by that is the correct answer is yes, do fertility. we're asked to multiply and replenish. So yes, do fertility so your eggs can turn into to children.
Right.
But when I prayed, I received the most strong answer that up to that point I had ever had. I knew that I was not supposed to do fertility. And I stood up with conviction, walked out of the room, and said, Mom, Dad, we're not doing fertility. They looked at me and they're like, What? Why? We're all set up. You're supposed to have the surgery for the procedure on Tuesday. Nope, we're not doing it. That was the first time I got the wrong answer when I prayed. There have been times since, one other time since, but we don't need to focus on that right now.
Okay, so you didn't do fertility treatments, but spoiler alert, you got 4 kids.
I do. I have 4 beautiful children. When I got pregnant with my first, Fertile Myrtle over here, my oncologist, he said, You stinking Mormon Fertile Myrtle. I can't stop your period. You're going to show up pregnant one day. And I was on birth control. And my little Addie is supposed to be here. She
Yeah.
was most definitely a surprise. And when given the suggestion to consider abortion, we denied. They told me she would likely have spina bifida. They told me she would likely have learning disabilities and that she would have a really hard life if we continue the pregnancy. I made the decision before I even got married that abortion was not my thing. So, and I should note, my very first appointment with my oncologist, I overheard the nurses telling him that the girl in the room next to me was pregnant and she was not going to abort the baby. And I heard doctors say, then she and the baby will die. I cannot give her chemotherapy if she's pregnant. So me choosing not to abort Addie was a really big decision and one of the absolute best decisions I ever made. We do know what birth control is, and we did try to get pregnant with our other 3 boys. But Addie was a complete surprise.
Wow. Miracle.
Miracle girl. In fact, in her room, I love it. There's a sign that says, such a big miracle in such a little girl.
Oh. So so you temporarily defeated your cancer, you had these children, your life, you're just year after year defying the odds,
Absolutely.
continuing.
So I made it 10 years.
So you defy the odds. 10 years later, you've got 4 kids. Your husband is going to school for the same, like for brain stuff, right?
Yes. My whole health journey thing prompted him to forego a job in information systems, which is what he graduated in.
Mm.
And he just decided that we were going to go to med school because we needed insurance for Tara's brain. We called it the train track for Tara. And he did all of the prereqs for med school, studied his little tush off for the MCAT, nailed it, got into school, med school. Intern year, we were deciding what we were going to do for our, yes, we were deciding what we were going to do for our residency, and he wanted to do radiology, which required an intern year. So yes, we also did intern year, and he went into radiology with the intention of doing neuro so he could help people like me. But he saw too many people with glioblastomas and just couldn't do it anymore. So he is very happy doing musculoskeletal radiology. And what a blessing it is that Josh chose radiology. When I had my scan in April of 2022, my oncologist called and said, your scan's looking good. See you in 6 months. And Josh had looked at it and said, oh no, 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 her scan does not look good. There
Mm.
are 3 spots that need attention. And he sent it to 2 different facilities to look at it and get a second opinion. They both said that they also did not see any growth. Josh then circled in red
Mm.
the areas he was concerned about and sent them back to the facilities. That prompted some action, and we got a hold, or we were got in touch with a surgeon. They unfortunately made us keep watching it for a long time, which made my brother extremely mad, and I. But we had to watch it and wait until it was big enough for a surgeon to go after it. So we watched it. We literally just watched my cancer grow.
Mm.
And then in February or January, it was time to get it out. We tried something called LIT first, which is what I'm having on Tuesday. And we did LIT, but then after that, it showed that there was more growth. So in February, I had an occipital lobectomy, which means they took out my occipital lobe of the right side, which took my left peripheral vision, and now I cannot drive. Hurry up, Elon, give me a full self-driving car. Exclamation mark.
We are going to forward this episode to his personal email somehow and get him
Thank
on
you.
that.
And if he can somehow get me a self-driving car, I will name my first male dog Elon.
Oh, how could he say no?
I
How could
know.
he say no?
This half blind, half bald, half brained girl needs a car.
You're not a half, you're a whole. You're an amazing whole person. Um, so Josh saves your life.
Yes,
Um, and
he
that
did.
and then we're at like the beginning of 2023, and that begins this like
Slew of surgeries and treatment. Yes.
so tell us about where your faith is at this point then, at this point in time last year.
So it was doing pretty good. It was doing pretty good until May 16th, 2023. May 16th, 2023, we got bad news. The chemo, the 4 types of chemo I had been taking, the radiation I had done, the lobectomy I had done, all of these things were not working. May 16th, I sunk. May 16th, I questioned, is the plan of salvation real? Is it true? I was so much more scared this time. The first time, I had a really cute fiance, and I really wanted to be with him, but that was all that I had. This time, I have more to live for. This time, I have 4 kids, and my cute fiance is now my amazing man of a husband. I have to live. May 16th, I felt like it was all being taken away from me. We had to be creative. We had to find other ways to fight this cancer. But what other ways are there? I started, like I said, with the question of, is the plan of salvation real? Am I going to be with my babies and my husband when I die? Do we have an eternal family? Is this church true? Is the gospel true? I questioned every single thing. I needed to know that it was true. And as I searched for that, I got really frustrated. I got frustrated because I realized you cannot know that the church is true. You can believe it, but you can't know. We cannot prove that there is a Father in heaven. We cannot prove a lot of things, but we can believe. And that is what I have chosen to do.
So what does that look like for you now? How do you feel comfortable now continuing in your covenants, continuing in the faith? How did you find peace?
Well, I was vulnerable. I was asked to speak. I was asked to speak in church. I did not feel like I was in a good place to speak. I was sick, and my testimony was not in a good place. They asked me to share my testimony if I could not speak, and I have no idea why, but I agreed. I didn't have a testimony, but I agreed. So yours truly went up and shared my lack of a testimony. I'm surprised they didn't kick me right off the pulpit. I stood up there and I said, I would like to say that I know, but I don't. I would love to say that I know XYZ, but I don't. I just kept saying, you know what? I don't know anything. I ended with, I don't know anything, but I have a mustard seed. I want to plant this seed. I want it to grow. I have a desire to be here. So I will stay and I will try to nurture this mustard seed. And after that, I really started my faith journey. I decided that I needed to lean not onto my own understanding, that I needed to lean on others. I asked people around me that I trusted and were close to me, and I asked them to share their testimonies, hoping that by them sharing, mine would grow. Now, I really appreciate everything that they shared, but I still felt like that was their testimony. And it didn't do much other than give me hope because I saw how much their testimony fulfilled them. And I wanted that in my life. So I kept searching. I kept searching for light. And light is my word for 2024. And it's because I found light in 2023. It wasn't easy. I experienced faith without works is dead. On May 16th, 2023, my faith was all but dead. It was really just small steps. I kept myself in a place where I could feel the Spirit. I kept going to church. I couldn't pray. Well, I couldn't kneel to pray. Due to another brain infection, I have lost mobility and feeling in my left arm and left leg. Have made it so I cannot kneel to pray. And my heart, truthfully, didn't want to pray. But Josh was my rock. I laid in bed and he said a prayer for us every night. I kept going to church. I kept listening to Josh's prayers. I kept putting myself in a place where I could feel a spirit. And the biggest turning point for me was when we got a new member of the bishopric. He and his wife bore their testimonies. And honestly, I cannot remember what Jen Sumko said. I cannot remember it, but I cannot deny what I felt. I felt something. I believe that something was the Spirit. That really sparked everything. From there, I kept digging. I kept trying to find this spark again. I kept trying to find the Spirit. In May 2010, I was able to find the Lord's hand in my life always. Like it was so apparent all the time. And I remembered that. After I felt the Spirit, I decided that I needed to start finding the Lord's hand in my life. I looked for tender mercies. As I did, it became really easy as I did, my faith grew. I still cannot say that I know. I have chosen to live like I believe and to live like I know. I have chosen to walk by faith, a daughter of heavenly parents. I have chosen to believe. I don't know that this church is true, and that's okay with me. I am here because I believe. My mustard seed is growing. I am watering that seed. Tonight, in fact, usually Josh reads scriptures with the kids, and I sit in my blue chair and test my ketones or eat all my disgusting foods. But tonight, I went and read scriptures with my kids. I would love to sit here on this episode and say, hey, I went to the depths and now I'm great. No, I went to the depths and I am still clawing my way out. I am still working though. I know what I want. I know I want that strong Tara back. I know I want the peace and the comfort that this gospel can bring. So I'm going to go try to get it. And I told my physical therapist, I said, Jefferson, I want to pray with my family. Okay, Jefferson, I want to kneel down with my family. Teach me how to kneel. We worked all day practicing getting up and down so I could kneel with my family. And a few nights ago, for the first time, I knelt with my family in prayer. We can do hard things. Tara Lynn learned how to kneel again. And if I can do that, I can do anything.
How much, how much do I take for granted, like kneeling down? Like, oh my gosh. Oh my stars, as we say in my family. Oh,
Well, I can't pick my nose with my left hand anymore. That's my OT goal. Sam, I want to pick my nose. And you know what? One thing that has helped me so much, my motto since 2010 has been come what may and love it. Or come what may and find a way to love it. And as I go through this hard time of, I mean, you can see my hand. It's learning to open and close again. But as I go through this, I have learned that when I am happy, other people are happy. And when I am sad and grumpy, usually other people are sad and grumpy. So I go to therapy and we just laugh. We have so much fun joking about how my goal is to pick my nose. We have so much fun teasing the therapist as they tease me. Oh, it's so fun. I love it. And I love it because we just laugh. Sure, there's a lot of things I can't do, but there's a few things I can do. And I can smile. Like I said, my goal or my word for 2024 is light. I have found light. I have regained light in my life. I have surgery on Tuesday, and it's really, really scary, but I have hope. I still have light. And while I have light, these next 2 days, I will shine. I will do my best to shine with what I believe is the light of Christ. I will smile at all my texts. I will smile at the poor soul that has to put the IV in my arm because I hate it. I get so nervous and anxious and tense up, but I will smile. I will bring light to all that I can. My testimony has grown. It still has a long way to go, but I believe. I stay because I believe, not because I know.
so to just kind of bring this episode, well, I thought I would ask you If you could give your future self a piece of advice, what would you say to yourself?
Oh dear. About faith?
Whatever you want.
Don't take the little things for granted. And I tell my youth all of the time, I love sharing my story with the youth. Adults, you're fine too. But I tell my youth, nothing nice is too little to say. Say something nice to somebody else. Light up somebody else's life. I want to make a t-shirt about light. And I want everybody to have light and to spread light and to come up and love it. You got to help me design this shirt.
Okay, will do.
I'm going to do it. I'm
I'll
going to
do
do
it.
it. And I want to make this t-shirt available to all, free of charge. Got to find a serious sponsor.
Done. Elon Musk.
Come on, Elon, forget sending Tesla to space. Just write me a check for some t-shirt.
You're amazing. You are a fantastic, fantastic person. If people want to follow you on your journey, where can they find you?
You can find me on Facebook or Instagram. I am on a crusade against cancer, and my public account on Facebook is Cancer Fears Me. I'll double check and you can put it in the show notes.
Sure.
And I'm pretty sure my Instagram handle is cancer.fears.me. So, you know what? I need an army. I need cheerleaders. This is really, really hard. Anyone who's gone through hard things know what it's like to have a cheerleader. Know what it's like to have someone tell you you can do it. I had an army in 2010. They prayed for me. They were there for me. They cheered me on. And I have an army again now, but it could never be too big. So come cheer me on. Come watch my silly rehab videos of me falling and getting up again. I've been seeing that since I fell twice in therapy on Friday, but I get down. Yeah, I fall down, but I get up again. You're never gonna leave me down. I don't know the words. Anyway, come fight with me. Come be my cheerleader. Come be my army. And I'll cheer you on too. We can all do hard things. I tell my kids all the time, we're Bodreros. We can do hard things.
And so that's the last thing I want to ask is if you could cement something, like to tell your kids something here right now on this podcast, like what would you say to your kids?
I love you unconditionally. You are important to this family. You are important to this world. You can do hard things. I love my family. They know what unconditional means. We harp on it all the time. Bodreros, your mama, your wife loves you unconditionally.
And that is the powerhouse statement to end on. Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing this. And I'm
doing the love sign.
You can do it. You're doing the love sign. Good for you.
I'm kind of doing it.
You're doing it.
Gave my kids love sign Christmas ornaments this year. Their mama love.
That's so sweet. That's amazing. You are an inspiration, and it's easy for us to just like talk about it and sum it up in the nice like way that you have today, but like I know I I have seen like the grittiness, the hard, heavy things that you've had to travel through. And so from me and from the people who love you, your army, and from all the new listeners and the people who are just barely tuning in to your life, your story, like I just want to say like we're we are cheering for you. We are rooting for you. And you have brought light to us. And this podcast episode is going to continue to bring light to people for years and years and years and years to come. So I want to thank you and honor your sacrifice and your time and your life and your struggle for everything that has brought you to this point to be able to inspire and lift us. I know it's been more than your share of the burden to bear, but man, you have changed so many lives for the better, and we thank you. We thank you for it. All right. Is there anything else you wanted to say?
Dear Cancer, thank you for Brian and Haley and Beverly and Chris and Tracy. Thank you for all of those who have served me over the past few months, who have taken my shoes and my brace off every morning as I prepare for barracks and then put them back on. Thank you, Cancer, for helping me feel my Savior's love in all the world around me. The Spirit fills my soul in everything I see. I can do hard things. I will march to St. Joe's Hospital with my head held high. I can do hard things. I will continue doing hard things. Children, I love you. Children, I do this for you. I am opening my mouth now so that you can see me, you can hear me, you can know that your mother loves you. And grandkids, if this gets to you, let's eat cake on my 88th birthday because we are forgetting this crazy diet. But know that your crazy grandma has done everything she could. No stone unturned. Like I said, I'm half blind, half bald, and have half my brain. But I've got full heart, full fire, filling faith, and full spunk. I'm ready to go, Cancer. Cancer fears me. Let's go.
You got this. Christ has you, and you've got this. He's got you, and you've got this. So I'm here recording this last little piece because I'm just trying to finish editing before tomorrow. We recorded on Sunday and it needs to come out on tomorrow morning, Tuesday. And I've just been trying to hack at it all day long. There was no like perfect way to wrap up this episode. It was just so much. It was heavy, but it was like rich. Tara was an amazing person too. Interview, and I think we can all say that we are wishing her and praying for her, wishing her the best of experiences tomorrow, and I guess today. If you're hearing this, Tara, we love you. You've got this. We love your smile. We love your spunk. Don't let it go, and we'll see you on the other side of surgery. All right, everybody, thank you so much for being here. Sorry the audio quality is probably not great, but I think you guys get it. Anyway, we love you, and again, thank you for staying with us.